Hello friends, this is Ifa. Welcome back to my channel. It's the time to set up our April bullet journal for 2025, and this is the fourth time that I'm making a Sakura or cherry blossom theme, and I'm very excited for this theme because we're not going to make any basic Sakura theme. We're going to add a little bit cuteness and sweetness to this theme by adding an anime which I used to watch when I was a kid. As you have already saw the thumbnail, and if you have watched the anime, you know I'm talking about the Japanese anime card capture Sakura. I'm happy to make this theme because I had this in my head for quite a long time, and I wanted to make this theme in March, but I delayed it for April because I always make cherry blossom themes for April, and I thought it should be a perfect month for making a cherry blossom inspired theme. And as we're having cherry blossoms into the illustrations, it's going to be a lot of pink. So for the cover page, which is the first page, which I make in every journal I use, and I wanted to make an art heavy illustration in the cover page. This illustration is going to be a little complicated as I'm going to make a layout of manga or comic book, so there's going to be a lot of elements from that anime, and I had to sketch it out beforehand, even though it's not visible here properly. But if you want to make this whole illustration, I'd recommend you to follow me on Instagram so that you can have a proper picture of it and you can use that image to replicate the illustration. Let me show you the digital version which I made for my Patreon as a printable or digitally used cover page. Basically, in the end of this illustration, it will be similar to this. I'm using a brown fine liner which is from Unipin pen, and it's in size 05. It's quite bold, and I've started to draw from the top of the illustration. Even though it's a very good quality fine liner, it didn't smudge after I make any illustrations yet, but I always try to draw out or paint from the top so that I don't occur any accident here. Basically, in this illustration we have 5 sections. In the first section, I'm drawing out a card from Card Capture Sakura because Sakura is basically capturing the cards here, and besides it I have also illustrated a very complicated design from this anime. As I'm pretty sick beforehand and I was fasting, my hand was shivering a little bit, so it was quite difficult to work with this 05 size. I was thinking that if I had a very thin fine liner in brown, I'll just go with it, but I don't have yet. I haven't purchased that yet, so I started to go with my favorite one, which is this Unipin brown fine liner. Anyways, in this whole layout I am going to add a lot of cherry blossoms or petals here, so this is kind of making the whole illustration look a little clumsy before I color them out, but after coloring the backgrounds it will look nice. I'm just trusting the process here. In the second section, I'm going to add a claw book here. Basically, claw book is the magical book where all the powerful cards called claw cards have been stored. And before I draw out the other sections, I have gone for the 5th section, which was pretty easier. That's the key or the wand of Sakura, which is a magical stick that's been used for capturing the powerful souls into the card. Besides that, I am drawing pudding, which is basically a pudding which has been very favorite of Keroberos. I think in this anime, Kero-chan is pretty obsessed with sweet dishes like pudding and cakes, so definitely I had to add a pudding here. In the third section, I'm adding the cute magical lion Kero-chan or Kerberos. Basically, Kerberos is a character who is a magical creature and is basically the guardian of claw cards. I started to add the layout here, but later I thought that I should color first and then add the layout to make it a little bit more dimension or make it look more pop-up, because it's definitely going to be look pretty clumsy after coloring out. While making this video, I was kind of frustrated with the color choices that I made. I have chosen a bunch of yellow and chrome yellow colors for the astrological designs, I believe. Chrome orange wasn't that bad, but the lightest yellow color from Tomboodle was pretty disturbing for me. It was looking a little vibrant, but it's not that bad, I know, even though it doesn't look that bad in this video, but it did in the real life. For coloring out Sakura, I have included 2 colors here from Tomboodle brush pen so that I can make an ombre effect on the petals and the flowers. Both of them are pretty light. One is the 761 and another one is 850. At first, I have colored out the inner part of the petals or the flowers with the 706. It definitely has a brighter pinkish tone into it, and to add a little bit of color to the whole petal, I'm using 850, and I'm just using this to blend both of the previous color and making it a little bit warm. Basically, the previous color that I used has a little bit of cool tone, and I wanted to make it a little bit warm and wanted to have a full color to this petal or flowers. I hope that makes sense. I know I talk a lot in these videos and that doesn't make any sense, but I try my best to talk about what I'm doing here. I hope that literally helps you. The next thing that I'm going to color out is basically Keroberos and the pudding, because both of these are going to have yellow in it, and I wanted to go with the lightest yellow shade here, and this is the 090 from Tomboodle brush pen. I don't hate this color, but I don't like this here because I wanted to add warmer tones into it, and it's pretty pastel color, but I don't know, it doesn't go with this scheme, for me at least. As I've used a lot of colors here, I'll be listing all the colors that I use from Tomboodle brush pen here in the description below, so do check that out. And all the supplies that I'm going to use in this video is going to be listed in the description below. Let's talk about the cover page again. I have added the title into this illustration, that means in the layout, and my aim is to pop out the header more than the illustration, because the illustration is very colorful and it was very difficult to pop out the header or the title. For the title, as you can see, I have added a banner or a ribbon banner in the top section, and here I'm just coloring the outlines with another dark pink color, and here I am making some bold letters for this title. And I was just kind of thinking that I should go with the outlines of the letters, but later I thought that it's not going to pop out much from this illustration, so I colored them in, and later I will add some details with my Sakura Jelly Roll white gel pen. For the claw card and claw book, I was pretty disturbed with the color choice that I made, but later it was kind of okay after finishing out, so don't panic, just trust the process, which I was doing on that time. Into this colorful illustration, I wanted to add a bit of cool tones like purple and blue, but I chose the muted ones so that it don't look too much bold into this illustration, I believe. And for the backgrounds, I used the lightest yellow that I've talked earlier and also light blue color. Even if I haven't finished coloring out the whole illustration right now, I needed to add the layout or the frames of each of the parts so that I can have a proper vision of this illustration, because I was kind of coloring out without thinking much. And here I'm using the Pentel Touch brush pen to create all the layouts. I'm using this because it has a softer nib and I don't need a harsh line into this layout, and I wanted to make it look flowy. I'm using a ruler here basically because it's quite difficult to have a straight line right now and I don't wanna ruin my illustration at this point. Here is a technique of shading any illustration we're making with water-based markers. Basically, if you're coloring anything and you want to give it a shadow or bit of shades into that illustration or an element, you just can override with the same brush pen and it will make the paste look more natural. But here I didn't do in certain points like in the Keruberos or in the stars because I wanted to have a different color of shadows from that specific element. Why? Because it's kind of making the illustration look a little bit pop out, because I didn't want to use the yellow brush pen that I'm using here. I mean the lightest yellow color, because it's gonna be look more vibrant and I don't want that. For the wings, I am going with a light gray color to give it a little bit of shadow, and I'm not gonna color them in because it's going to be white and I only need some shadows in it. As you can see at this point, after adding all the background colors, it looks much more okay and cute, I believe, and here it looks a lot visible, to be honest. As I'm almost finished with this illustration, right now I'm going to use the Sakura Jelly Roll white gel pen, which is pretty opaque, to give some highlights into this illustration. I don't overdo highlights, but it's very necessary to give it a little bit of dimension here or it will look very flat. That's for this cover page, and I'm pretty happy with the illustration. Basically, it looks better in my opinion at this point. So that's it for the cover page, and from this next spreads, I'm going to use the printable journaling kit that I made for my patrons or the member of patron page. I don't want to illustrate much here because I was pretty tired after making this whole illustration, and I was pretty weak when I was making this video. After having a lot of troubles with my printer and cutting machine, I finally made this simple version of a journaling kit. Generally, I made my journaling kit on an A4 size paper so that my patrons can use it right after printing them out, but sometimes you need to resize them according to your needs. So here I'm using a smaller size, which I made from the JPEG file that I provide for my patrons, and I made this very small size. It's basically smaller than A5 because I want to store them in the pocket of my notebook. I've also cut out some larger piece of astronomical designs that I've talked before, and it's pretty complex. Even if when I made this on iPad, it was pretty time consuming, so I didn't bother to make this again, and I used the printables so that it can make my life more easier. Let's talk about these die-cut stickers a bit. I haven't included every one of these illustrations in the journaling kit because I haven't used them properly. So I thought I should just add the specific thing that you might find helpful. Anyways, besides the cover page, I'm making a one-page calendar layout. After 5 to 6 months, I'm moving back to the one-page calendar layout because I wanted to try something different this month, and definitely I had a lot to work, but I thought that I need some rest from some working or over scheduling, so I thought that I should go with a one-page calendar layout for this month. Anyways, let's talk about Patreon a bit, because Patreon is one of the platforms where I have the most supportive people, and my patrons are very nice to me. They're supporting me for a very long time. I can't tell you how long, but I'm just very happy that I have some people in my life who is supporting my art and genuinely like my art. And as in we're talking about the Patreon, we see a little bit of previews about what my patrons are having this month for April planning. And here is the full preview. I've made a digital calendar here for the hang tag. Then we are having a full sticker sheet which is designed in A4, but you can use it digitally or print smaller version of it according to your need. And we also have some wallpapers which are patterns, and I'm currently using it because I found it very cute. And then we have 4-page of journaling kit to use in your planner, bullet journal, or digital planner, or notes. And then we have a cover page of my own cover page, and I think this is one of my favorites so far, and I love the illustrations which I made in the sticker sheet and journaling kit. So that's the Patreon viewers for digital tiers, which is Hunk, Oswald, and Pearl. And besides the digital goodies, we have some Happy Mail tier where you can get physical products or physical items from me. Sometimes I send out exclusive stickers to my patrons. Like for this month, which is March, I have included 2 of these stickers, which are the circle designs or die cuts here, as you can see, for my patrons, and I won't include them in my shop. But the die cut sticker that I made is going to be in my shop because so many people are liking this and they want them. And also a sticker sheet, which is basically a longer sticker that I made for the first time, and I'm going to have a bunch of these kind of stickers later on. So here's the Happy Mail kit, and I have made a whole reel about me packing the Patreon Happy Mails. So that's it for the Patreon talks. Let's talk about the spreads of it. I've created the layout pretty simply, and here I'm using the numbers from the journaling kit, and I kind of like the shapes here. It was kind of fun to create this spread because I like stickers a lot to use in my journal. And that's it for this layout and calendar page. The lines that I've included in this spread is not anything to use but to cover up a little bit of space from here. But if I want, I can add a bit of notes in the bottom section, but I don't think I will. So that's the whole cover page comes calendar page, and the next spread is going to be my habit tracker. The habit tracker that I'm making here is pretty simple, which is basically a 7x7 grid layout, and I want to make it very simple, so I didn't want to add the grids into the trackers that I usually do here, but definitely it's not that difficult to track out even if I don't use my bullet journal every day, so I'm happy with this classic layout. I don't want to illustrate here as well, as you can see, and I've used this large die cut to fill out the middle space from both of the pages. Oh, I forgot to tell you that besides my habit tracker, I am making a thoughts or content planning spread. It's very simple, and I don't want to make any large header into this spread, so here I'm just adding the borders into the spread, and there will be a small title content in the bottom here. For the habit trackers title, I wanted to add a flowy ribbon header, but I chose a wrong color here again. I don't know, but I don't like this yellow into these illustrations and into this setup. I don't think that this yellow goes with this color scheme, so I don't know. I think it's okay at this point after making the whole thing, but it's not my favorite at all, to be honest. But I just didn't want to use any pink or blue here. That's why I had to go with the last color that I had is yellow for the basics and brown for the titles or the outlines. I tried my best to make it looks okay, and let's jump into the next spread, which is the thoughts page. Basically, I am going to have a lot of space to write here. There will be a column for contents because I want to have a specific space where I can write about the contents that I'm going to make, and the rest of the spread is going to be for my plannings. I have kind of sectioned out here a bit with the markers or the strokes of the markers, like I've used different colors here just to indicate these sections are different. I didn't want to use any headers, smaller headers or larger headers, because I don't know yet which topic I'm going to write about. So yeah, I've started out planning this very late, so the light was quite dull here because it's afternoon and almost the sunset, even though the light is pretty good here in this video, but it was quite difficult to see in the sunlight. I didn't want to use any external light because I don't like external lights in my videos. It looks a little bit fake to me, and I don't want any good lighting setups, so I don't use them. Anyways, let's talk about the spreads a bit. I talk a lot about gibberish things to know, but I think when I talk, I have a little bit of confidence than my previous self right now, and I talk a lot in these videos because these videos are quite long, and sometimes I feel like I'm pretty overwhelmed with longer videos right now, but I don't know, I like longer form of videos, and yeah. So let's talk about the last spread that I'm going to make is my weekly spread, and the layout is going to be a little different from all of the layouts that I've been sharing in my Instagram or YouTube. So here I'm just spacing out 4 boxes in the top and 3 boxes below. I'm using a scale or ruler to make my life easier. Sometimes I go with my bare hand and I like the strokes even if it don't look perfect. But here for this layout, I think it's better to go with a ruler. The headers that I made for the journaling kit is one of my favorite because I have this layout from the card captor Sakura's card here, and I think it looks really cute with these 2 pinks and muted yellow. And I have used them like one dark pink, then one lighter pink, and then one dark pink, and it kind of giving the spread a bit of balance of the colors. For the illustration, I am going to use the die cut sticker that I have for my patrons, so I thought that I should use it here because I have a lot of space here, but I thought I should give some background colors into it, and I have gone with this pink color. It doesn't look that well, I know, but I think here at least I can go with blues or yellow, but I don't know why I use pink and it looks too much pinkish, to be honest. If you're making this, I would suggest you to go with lighter colors or different lighter colors like blue and yellow. I know I'm complaining about my spreads a lot here, but that's my thoughts, and I think I should be honest with you guys. As I have a little bit of space left in the right, I am going to add a calendar, mini calendar, and I forgot that I have run out of the mini calendars, and that's why I'm using this faulty sticker to make it work so that it doesn't go into the waste, and I cannot give it as a freebie to my up orders because it's not that usable. But I think I can work it out, so I used it here. So that's the whole spread, and let's see the final flip through because we are almost in the end of this video. I think this is going to be one of my favorite themes so far. I have illustrated a lot, not actually a lot, but I have made a huge illustration in the cover page, and I think I am in love with the printable journaling kit that I made, and that's the whole setup. I hope you like this setup. because it took me a lot to make this. I have planned out a lot and also made a huge effort into this video. If you have watched till the end, please place a Sakura or a card emoji in the comment section and let me know that you have watched till the end. So that's it for this video. I hope you have a lovely day and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.